This episode is sponsored by VO Inbox, the only full-service marketing tool for established professional voice actors.
Ooh, look out for the monsters. They're everywhere. There are VO monsters everywhere. And let's talk about all the different VO monsters this week, right here on the VO Live. Hey, Troy Holden here, back with you on the VO Live. How are you? It is the middle of April. We're almost dead center in what is kind of the first week of warm weather, but good gracious, here it's been rainy. We've had all those storms come through. It's been terrible. We've had up in the low 80s, and then it's down to 29 at night a couple of times. It's just crazy. It's the time of year where the weathermen here are like, we don't know. Just roll the dice. We don't know. And they really don't know. But nobody wants to hear all about that. It is what it is. We're going into the early part of spring and really till May and June when it just gets hot. It's just going to be what it is. We're talking monsters today, and there's a lot of monsters. And what I mean by monsters in VO, there are these things out there that want to eat you up. They want to consume you, and they want to get you all wound up over this, that, and the other. And I'm going to talk about a few of those that as a new talent, some things you can avoid and make focus somewhere else. And I'll even tell you why I believe that. And I'll even give you examples that aren't even mine because I really believe what we're going to talk about. I really do. Okay, first thing, let's get into the first thing. What's everybody tell you when you say, I'm going to get into voiceover and that? You need a demo. Guess what? We're not going to talk about demos. But the next thing they'll tell you is when you get your coaching and when you get your demo, you've got to have a website. And they're right. So don't let anybody convince you need that website now. You don't. Work on your social media stuff. Let people hear your name and see your name out there right on social media for now. You're not ready yet. So take that with a grain of salt. Don't worry about it. What should you be worrying about? Learning the craft of dissecting a script, how to bring it to life, how to give it meaning, how to make the person listening to it feel something. Oh, I can do that. I can really read good. My voice, I was told I have a good voice. I know people are sick of us saying that are in voiceover and saying we're sick of hearing it, but we are. We're all very sick of hearing it. Educate, learn, go to workshops, get coaching, et cetera, et cetera. Let the coach tell you when you're ready for a demo, blah, 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 blah. Now let's talk about a website. Why? Why am I waiting until now? I could have my name out there. People could find me on the internet. What would they do with you if they found you? You're not ready to deliver. You're not ready. You don't know your editing. You don't have your room set up. You don't have your samples. You don't have this. So let's just kick all that out and say you don't need a website yet. It's fine to write ideas down, keep a notebook, and start thinking about how I want my page to look. And I looked at this guy's site, and I really like his layout. That's fine. Go do that stuff. That way you're ready when it's time. Start thinking about colors and fonts that you like that are you, because you don't need me to do orange or bright green. That's not me. I'm more of a laid back person, and I have a shade of blue, and that number blue is 244 A9E in case you want to look up that color code. But that's my blue. I like it. It's not too bright. It's not too dark. It's just the blue color I like. You can do that. But what you don't want to do is go set up a website when you're not ready. I mean, it's like going and renting an office building before you even know what business you're going into, or you don't even have any desk and chairs or any employees. You're just going to rent an office building because you want people to know I have an office building. It doesn't make sense. Don't do it. Think about it? Sure. Write your ideas down? Sure. I kept a notebook for a while. I got mine up pretty quickly because I had samples and demo pretty quickly, but things were incredibly different. And we can talk about that another time. Don't let the website monster get you because you don't have to have one up yet. Wait until you have your samples, demos, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I'm going to talk about something that goes along with that, and there are going to be a lot of people that are going to disagree with my opinion. And they can, and that's fine, because this has given me a platform to disagree with theirs. And I was on board with their opinion for a while, and here lately I have gotten off of it, and I will try to explain why, and then I will tell you to go look at a lot of voiceover people's websites and see the ones that are successful and look at their websites, which now you're seeing we're tying this together, websites. You can look at their websites and get ideas. But look also at, do they have a tagline or a brand line or anything going on? And most of them don't. And let me throw a couple of different opinions at that. The opinion is you could accidentally, as I have done, paint yourself in a corner. And I somewhat painted myself in a corner anyway with this voice, right? Southern accent. I don't want people to only think of that accent when they hear me. I don't want them to only think, oh, that's that guy with that Southern accent. I would rather them think, that's that guy, I've heard some of his stuff. He really connects to his copy. He's really grounded in his reads. He's a great storyteller. That's what I want people to think. But do I have to put that on my website? No, my samples can do the talking. So why not be simpler with all of that? Pick your colors. Decide if you're going to use a picture of yourself or a caricature. If you get a really nice caricature done, I think that's okay. Some people say no. You should never put a cartoon up. People are not going to the site to look at you. They're going there quickly to hear you. Let the demo stand out. Put the demo front and center and let it stand out. You want to stick your picture further down, that's great. My website has a caricature and a little pair of headphones up there, and it says Troy Holden, voice actor. That's it. I used to say blue-collar voice of choice. I thought a few weeks ago I was going to change it to sounds like home, but dadgummit, that's still, dadgummit, there I go again. It still paints me into a corner, right? Sounds like home. That makes me, he's folksy. He's Southern and he's folksy. Even though that might be the power read for me, that's not what I need them to think. I just need them to think Troy Holden, voice actor, listen to his stuff. And when they run through those 7 samples in that commercial demo, I really believe they're going to go, wow, I didn't know he could do all that. I really believe people hear that and say that when they listen to those samples. And then they can drop down to the in-show narration demo and say, that's pretty good range. And then they might even say, when he does this type of voice, I don't really notice much of an accent. The accent comes out in conversational more than it does in a documentary read or an in-show read or some of the radio stuff. It doesn't come out in imaging. And as much as I want to embrace me, myself, and accept myself, that's okay for me to do. But out there in the world of clients and agents, agencies, production houses, I need them to hear it all, not just that voice that's the stronger voice or is my money voice. Because yes, I probably book more when I'm talking more folksy, but because they ask me for that. I'm offering this, and this because my golf bag is full. I've got a lot of clubs I can pull for you. You want to hit a 7-iron? Let's hit it. You want to hit a 3-iron? I might shank it a little, but let's hit it. You want to hit a pitching wedge? I'll drop it right by the cup. That's just the way the thing works, right? So, in my opinion, I branded myself into a corner, and now I'm trying to work my way out of it. I'm in year 5. I think I can do that. Enough people know who I am, but there's a lot of people who don't. And those that don't, and the ones I'm reaching out to new every week through my direct marketing, I want them to see me and hear me as me, my name. I'm a voice actor, but not sounds like home, not blue-collar voice of choice. And those weren't bad things. I just don't think you need it. I really don't think you need it. I don't think you need any of that. It's your name and voice actor. That people know what, there's your name. I know what you do. And then I hit the button. And that's enough. Yeah, you can put other information there. Sure, you can have separate pages for each type of read if you want to. You can have the down home page. You can have the high energy page or whatever and put other samples on there. You can do whatever you want to do. The thing is, when they come in and you've got them, they're on your page. You want it easy, hit the demo thing, and it's there. Let me put it nicely, they don't care what your tagline is. They really don't care what you look like. And some people will say, well, I want a nice picture of me smiling, whatever. That's fine. You can do that. Just don't make that the focal point. The focal point is, what can you do with your mouth that other people can't? I know that sounds X-rated, but that's not what that meant. What can you do with your voice that other people can't? What control do you have over, understanding all the emotions and the change points in here? How do you know which point of view we want that read from? Where did you come up with that idea? Wow, we didn't think of that. People want to hear all those things when they hear you on your demo and doing your reads, in your samples, in your auditions. Tough world. Yeah, tough world. So don't get eaten up by the website monster, the demo monster, the branding monster. You need to be obsessed with the learning monster, right? The one that is always after you to take another class, take another course, do this, do that, go to a workshop, go to a peer group, and, you guys swap reads around and listen to the other people. And, you get to do both. You get to participate, and other people may be saying, yeah, I would have done it like this or maybe this, but, I liked your read. It ain't the great direction you're hoping for. But on the other hand, you get to listen to them and hear what you think is right or wrong. And all of this is, you're just training your ear. You're training everything to get better at this. So you hear it, you can deliver it, you can change, you can do the A/B takes where they're different. Boy, that's hard sometimes when they ask for it. And, you can choose, make a choice, and stay with it when you do the read. And of course, yes, you have to learn to edit in your DAW. You have to make sure your area is properly treated and your sound is good. But just don't overdo things. And while we're talking about monsters, one more. Don't get eaten up by the sound monster. The sound monster, the one that says you've got to take out all these breaths and do this and do that when you're sending auditions in, and you got to do this and this and this. Auditions need to be fairly natural. They need to be, if you got a big gasp in there and you want to tamp it down, sure, why not? But people breathe. I mean, when they say natural and conversational, I don't know anyone I ever talk to that doesn't take breaths when we're having a conversation. If they didn't, they wouldn't be there, right? So breathing is natural. Yes, the great big gasp, sure, why not? Do you want to get the mouth clicks out if you've got some clicking? Sure. But do you need to do a lot of EQ and compression and blah, blah, blah? Well, if your room is right, you shouldn't have to. And you sure don't want to compress anything. I mean, you're trying to give them a file that is representative of what comes out of your studio naturally, because if they book you and they want you on Source Connect, that is what they're getting. What comes through your mic, through your interface into your DAW, that's what they'll get on the other side of Source Connect. They want that natural sound, and then they are going to take care of it. Now, if you have clients that want you to do that, great, but I'm talking about auditions and things. Don't get eaten up by the sound monster. There's some things you may need to do because of your space. Keep it to a minimum. Keep it to a minimum. Just remember, I go back to Tim Tippett's all the time. Is it raw audio? He said, it's raw audio, as long as you're not compressing it. But once you compress it, it's scrambled eggs, and you can't unscramble scrambled eggs. And he's right. Do most people touch up their audio? Sure. If you have a hard plosive, or you have a big T you hit way too hard and you want to tamp it down, sure. People do that. They clean things up. They want the audition to sound good. But the thing is, it doesn't need to sound all doctored up. It just needs to be clean, a low noise floor, no pops and clicks and dogs in the background or whatever, airplane flying over, whatever you want to say. Of course, you want clean audio. So don't let the sound monster talk you into a lot of other things that you don't need, and don't be overdoing that stuff. We all have to learn. I learned the hard way on a lot of stuff. I'm still learning. Even though I've been doing this 5 years now, I am still learning every week, all the time. I mean, sometimes the simple things. And I'm also learning things I don't want to learn that have to do with my PC and how files work. And I got up this week, I guess it was Monday, and I clicked on the file that my auditions go over to when I save them out of Adobe Audition. I save them into a certain folder, and then I can, quickly pop that folder open and send that audition. And something was going on. I clicked on that folder, my computer went into that little blue spinning wheel, and it stayed there forever. And I started digging and trying to find out what went on, and I started looking for when your file explorer is not working and blah, 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 blah. And I finally found a couple of things, and I did what it said, and it worked. And things pretty much went back to normal. Not 100%, but close enough that I'm okay, and I know what I did to fix it, and if I have to do it again, I will. But this may be a thing. I get online with somebody and let them go into the PC and say, hey, something's going on with the way the drives are mapped, and I know when it's off, but I don't know how to fix it. And then I think Adobe Audition had made an upgrade or change, and it had caused an issue, and I thought it was because it happened at the same time. I thought, my PC's going out or something's wrong. But it wasn't that, thank goodness. Nothing more of a panic for a voiceover person than when their computer doesn't work, and because it's the entire backbone of the business. It has to work. Do I have a backup? I got two. I've got an older tower in the closet that I used before this one that was only used for about 8 months, but it's less powerful, but it works. And then I also now have a MacBook that I'm working with that I'm using to travel, and I could actually bring it right here in the studio, unplug the monitor that's on my desk from the main PC, switch the cable, plug it in to the MacBook, and just keep going, because it's almost duplicated to what my tower system is. And my tower is a regular Windows PC, but I am doing Apple on the laptop because I feel like I want to maybe move over completely. When this tower gets bad, I think I want to go to Apple in the booth. So if I have the laptop up and running, it should be easy. Anyway, a lot of that to say, don't let these monsters get you. Ask around, and you're going to get different opinions. There are going to be people disagree with a lot of what I just said, and that's fine. There's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to start your career. There's more than 100 ways to do it and do it in the right steps. I'm just telling you to start out and pay attention to the important things, and don't let these monsters out there eat you alive and get you sidetracked, because if you'll focus on the other things, all that won't really matter. It just won't. A good, nice, clean, sharp website will be great. It doesn't have to have all this tagline branding, certain things. Every time you see me, I'm always in this certain shirt, and I'm always whatever. No. And like I said too, my cartoon's prettier than I am, so I'm going to keep using it, even though he wears great big glasses. Doesn't matter. And I don't even wear those kind anymore, but that's okay. It's glasses. It's, my goatee, and most people that have seen me in person said they could tell off of that it was me. So it's good enough. It doesn't matter. If not had anybody in a live session go, oh, you don't look like your cartoon. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Have fun out there learning. I would say I miss doing all that, but I'm having a blast where I'm at now, more settled in, feel like, yeah, there's still things I got to learn and do. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And if you love this business, you understand what I mean. If you got a passion to do this and you really want to do it, get after it, make it happen, but do it the way that makes sense for you. It's harder to work your way up than it used to be. I'm not going to say you can't do it the same way I did it, but I think you'll have a hard time. I think you're better off investing slowly, learning slowly, and making sure that you build a business first. Thanks for hanging out. Hey, we'll see you soon. Next week or week after, and I'm really looking forward to it, my accountability group, the first one I was ever in, and I'm still in very close touch with those two folks, and they also have a podcast called The Inside Voice. It's Brad Growhowski and Louise Porter, and they will join me just for some VO conversation, and we'll talk about a lot of the, the genres of VO and da-da-da-da, and we may even venture off into, all the different avenues that newer talent can look at to get started and try to make a little bit of money. Is it an agent? Is it online casting? Is it direct marketing? The answer is yes. It's yes to everything when you start. Your marketing, heck, all of it. I mean, you got to have every spoke in the wheel working, all the lines you can cast in the water, and you will do everything. And then as your career starts to gel, you'll find there are a few things that you're way better at, and you book more, and it's easier for you, and it makes sense for you. You may continue to still do a lot of the other things here and there, but you're going to find that there is something that is your bread and butter, and we're going to talk about some of that kind of stuff too. All right, hey folks, have a great week. We'll catch you here in a week or two right here on The VO Life.
This has been The VO Life with Troy Holden on Spotify, Apple, Google, and more.
And that's another episode of The VO Life. Thanks for dropping in and hanging on. The VO Life was brought to you by voinbox.com.
The marketing tool that gives you back something others don't. Make an investment in your marketing that not only cultivates clients, but gives you back time.
If you are a professional voice actor and you need to up your direct email marketing game, VO Inbox might be for you.
Reach out to Troy in an email to get 25 leads free with your paid subscription. Send that email to troy@troyholdenvoices.com.
Need to talk about building your VO business? You can schedule time with Troy on his website in half-hour or full-hour sessions. There's even a free 15-minute consult available, all on the website at troyholdenvoices.com.
Thanks for being here, and join us again next week on The VO Life.